Good afternoon all, and thank you for being here today for the funeral service for Mr. Ronald Keith Wilson, or better known to many as Ron. Today we unite in pride and with honour and say farewell to a true gentleman, one who had room in his heart for not only his family and friends, but also for his love of art. Ron's affiliation for his love of art will live on, and today's display is how we all remember him best. My name is Robert Davis and I'm a funeral director, and today with the Wilsons family's strength, I have been given the honour of leading you in this time of remembrance and celebration of Ron's life. At this moment, I'd also like to welcome those family members and friends who are unable to attend today's service and are watching our live stream via online services. Your presence is felt and your love with us today in spirit. We thank you. Not how did he die, but how did he live? Not how did he die, but how did he live? Not what did he gain, but what did he give? These are the units to measure the wealth of a man as a man, regardless of his birth. Nor what was his church, nor what was his creed, but what he befriended those really in need. Was he ever ready with words of good cheer, to bring back a smile, to banish a tear? Not what did he sketch in the newspapers say, but how many were sorry when he passed away. We gather here today in mourn with sorrow, but also in respect and with thanks for all that Ron brought to us throughout his 87 years on this earth. Although we all know in our hearts that in order for there to be life, there must be loss. It is always overwhelmingly sad when someone is taken from us so suddenly as Ron was. It's right and natural that you should grieve, because your sorrow is a measure of your love and affection for him. Though you will always miss Ron, you will always have fond memories too, which you will take into the future, and that will give him a kind of immortality. Even when a life is cut short, we can still celebrate it. As you remember Ron's life today, perhaps you will feel able to smile at memories and good times, even while you grieve his loss. Upon speaking with Ron's family, I was given the instant sense and feeling of warmth and love, that which was Ron's binding and eternal love for his wife Betty, something she too shared in return throughout their 63 years of marriage. Ron was born on the 8th of August 1937 in Brighton, United Kingdom, before the war, World War II, to Jack and Flora Wilson. His brother Brian and sister Jackie were born during and after the war. Times were hard, and Ron didn't taste a banana until the war had ended. At 15, Ron was working as an apprentice electrician until his parents could no longer afford the books. So the apprenticeship ended and national service started. Ron joined the army in the United Kingdom in 1956 and was shipped off to Korea for 20 months. In 1962, Betty Farrier and Ron Wilson were married. 2 children were born, Deb in 1963 and Mark in 1965. Both Ron and Betty were thinking that the UK was not where they wanted to bring up a family. So in 1970, they boarded the 10-pound boat off to Australia. Adelaide was home for a few years before moving to Moonta nearly 50 years ago. Ron was the smiling face of Moonta Bay Garden Centre for over 30 years, and during this time he'd been continually painting using oil paints and then watercolours. Many paintings were exhibited, sold and prizes won. A happy and familiar face around Moonta, Ron will certainly be missed. I would now like to invite the president of the Moonta Art Group to share some stories about Ron, Mr. Steve Hudson.
Thanks for that. Betty, I've got an apology to make to you today. You asked me to wear bright clothes. I could only manage a pair of socks, so I'm sorry about that. So I hope that's okay. I'm Steve Hudson. I'm president of the Copper Coast Art Group, and I met Ron through his involvement with the art group, and his time with the art group was fantastic. He was a mentor, a friend, and whose presence in our art group enriched everybody. Oh, sorry. Is that better? Okay. You want me to start again? Okay. You know who I am, most of you. Those who don't, Steve Hudson, president of the Copper Coast Art Group. And today, on behalf of Ron's second family, that's the Copper Coast Art Group, I'd like to celebrate our friend and mentor whose presence in our art group enriched our lives and whose talent has left an indelible mark on those who came to call him friend and mentor. Ron's artistic accomplishments began at the age of 12 when he won his first art prize at school in the UK, and he didn't stop winning since then. I'm not going to list all of the art prizes that he won because Betty showed me some scrapbooks she's got at home, and there's 3 of them that thick, so I thought it might take up the whole day, so I'm not going to worry about that. But 2 of the major ones he won up here was the Kernewick Luenda Art Prize, which you're all probably familiar with, and for someone to win that's a very significant award. So his painting called Shapes will be forever exhibited from time to time with the Kernewick exhibition in the Ascot Gallery at Gadina. He also won numerous awards at the Victor Harbour Art Prize, which is another significant awards in South Australia. That's one a lot of people aim to win, and Ron did very well in that. Many of his paintings are hung in homes not only in Munster and in Australia, but in Germany, England, Spain, Japan. So you can see the depth of his talent was appreciated. And if you ever get the chance to see Ron's workroom at home, you'll see, which I was lucky to do Tuesday, was to see the depth and breadth of his work. It was very truly inspiring. Beyond his artistic talents, and this is what sticks with me most, Ron was a kind and compassionate man who touched the lives of many. He was a true, gentle man, with a warm smile, a gentle spirit, and unwavering support, which made him a cherished friend and valued member of his artistic family and a respected mentor. His talent alone did not earn him life membership of the art group last year. No, it was in 23. Anyway, he earned the life membership. He's the only second person in since the founding of the group who was awarded that honour. And he was pretty chuffed with it too, I can tell you. I had the pleasure of presenting that to him at our Christmas dinner. He believed in the power of art to heal, to inspire and to connect people. And he lived his life with a generous spirit that reflected the belief. He was more than just a skilled watercolour artist. He was an artist who could see and capture the ephemeral beauty of nature and translate it onto a canvas with his delicate brushstrokes and expert use of his favourite medium, watercolour. For those of you who don't know, watercolour is a very difficult medium to master, and Ron was a master at it and never failed to share his expertise with others in that medium. His watercolours are a testament to his keen eye for detail, his boundless creativity and deep appreciation for the world around him. He could make a pile of logs look like something special, and he did. And Ron brought joy and laughter to us at the group. He was always ready for a laugh and a joke, and I always got great pleasure in teasing him, which he responded in kind. I would like us all, particularly the members of the art group, to carry forward his passion for his art, his love of nature and his commitment to spreading beauty and kindness in the world. Though he is no longer with us, his spirit will be forever a part of us, and particularly me. And his art will continue to inspire. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I'd now like to invite Bev Chapman, a family friend, to share some stories and memories about Ron.
Hello everyone, and thanks for coming. So our association with Ron and Betty began around 2017 when David knocked on their front door as he noticed when going for a drive their magnificent quandong trees, or fruiting quandong trees. As it turned out, some of the trees were what David had propagated, as Ron had purchased them from our garage sale back in the mid-1990s. Our friendship then began. Over the years, Ron and Betty have accompanied us to an overnight stay in Adelaide at their much-loved Grosvenor Hotel, with their personalised welcome valet service from long-standing employee Grant. However, on one occasion, Ron decided that he would book our overnight stay himself. On phoning, he was alarmed to find out that the overnight rate had increased substantially, the parking had increased, and the $1 breakfast was now $25 a head. After much haggling and telling them that in all the years that they have been staying there, he has never ever paid that price, Ron proudly managed to secure a satisfied discount. On receiving the email with the booking confirmation, Ron then realised that he had not phoned the Grosvenor at all. He had actually phoned and booked us into the Stamford Plaza. We must say the breakfast was delicious and Ron never lived it down. On another occasion, Ron was participating in the 2019 Masters Games in Adelaide. He entered the 5-kilometre run for the 80 to 85 age group. At this time, Ron was 82 years of age. Ron and Betty travelled to Adelaide alone and stayed in their beloved Grosvenor Hotel. Unbeknown to Ron, we thought we would surprise him and stay the night before the run at the Grosvenor and then watch him race. Race day was fast and furious, and on each lap as Ron passed us in the stand, he would smile and do a big Forrest Gump wave. On one of his laps, we all decided to turn and look skywards as he came around as a bit of a stir. It was a silver medal day for Ron running in that age group. It was also a damn good effort. Ron and Betty became a feature of our family and friends and enjoyed coming to our annual bonfires. We would all enjoy a camp oven prior to lighting the bonfire. On one particular occasion, Ron decided to bring the didgeridoo and his rainmaker, in which he proudly demonstrated. We had not long lit the bonfire, and I'm sure you can all guess what happened. Next thing, there was a downpour of rain and a frantic pack-up, and everyone left early that year. Thanks, Ron. We shared many a meal accompanied with Faye and Lynn Roach. Following the meal, we often played cards or word games. There was always lots of laughter, and sometimes at Ron's expense, as apparently Ron was not a great fan of playing cards. On a couple of occasions, Ron and Betty were invited to our house to share Christmas with us and our children, in which they both thoroughly enjoyed. The past few summers, David and Ron would go snorkelling regularly at the Moonta Bay swimming pool enclosure, a place that Ron loved. He would always finish off his swim by performing his signature handstand in the shallows. Our last day in Adelaide was late last year, and we changed from the Grosvenor to the Lakes Resort Hotel at West Lakes. Ron and Betty absolutely loved it and decided to stay there the next time they stayed in Adelaide. On this trip, we enjoyed the Port Adelaide Maritime Museum, and the next day we boarded the Port Adelaide Shipwreck and Dolphin Tour. Ron and Betty have been a big part of our extended family. We have had many a good time and lots of laughs and have many cherished memories. Ron was a man blessed with many talents. He will be sadly missed by our family and the wider community. Our friendship will continue with Betty and her family, Debbie and Matt, Mark and grandson Josh. And finally, I must ask just one last thing. Ron, can you please crank up that rainmaker?
Thank you, Bev. I'd now like to invite Ron's daughter Deb to share the eulogy. Following the eulogy, I'll share with you some memories prepared by Ron's son Mark.
Hello to you all. On behalf of my mum Betty and brother Mark, I would like to thank you all so much for coming. Who was Ron Wilson? To me, and yes, I am a bit biased, he was a wonderful dad who was funny, very talented, caring, and always tried to see the best in people. Stop it. Although many of us recognise Dad as a very talented and accomplished artist, Dad, however, was very humble, and it took a lot of convincing that his work had value. Even when he had won numerous prizes at exhibitions and sold paintings, he still remained humble. Recently, he had a workshop at the Moonta Art Group and told me he couldn't believe how many people had turned up. "I'm an old bugger, what have I got to offer?" he said to me. "Your experience, talent, and ability to share it with others," I said. He smiled. As a kid, we would often go camping in our tent. Dad and I would often put the tent up together. We had a good system. My dad taught me how to fish and catch squid. Yes, I was a bit of a tomboy. We did have many fun times together. But, so I stopped crying. Here's a funny for you all. The family was at a nursery years ago, and being a young teenager, I said to Dad, "I'm bored, Dad." Dad disappeared for a bit. And when he come back, I said, "Sorry, I'm bored and thirsty, Dad." He disappeared, and when he came back, he handed me something red, told me to chew on it, and it would help me with my thirst. I popped it in my mouth and started chewing. Oh my gosh, it was a super hot chili. Dad was laughing so hard and said, "You're not bored now, eh, Dad?" I vowed to get him back one day. Years later, he was at my house and having drinks and nibbles. I offered some stuffed olives, which he loved. He put a couple in his mouth, chewed them up, his face changed. He was red and wanting a drink. The capsicums had been replaced with olives. He looked at me and was laughing so much and said, "It took a while, Deb, but you got me back." Last Christmas was the first in many years that all of our family had been together. It was wonderful. Many times Dad said that day, "What a great Christmas. All my family is here together." It was a great Christmas and one I will always treasure. As you know, Dad was snorkelling when he passed. How many 87-year-olds get to do that? He used to run regularly and winning a gold medal a couple of years in his class at Kadena Smart's Masters game. We all know he loved to keep fit and healthy, which is quite ironic. When I was writing this, I was remembering so many times when Dad and I just burst into laughter over silly things. We were often on the same page and would both see funny situations emerging. Dad jokes were constant, and I'm going to miss our laughs together so much. So, in closing, I would just like to say, Dad, I'm going to miss you every day, and thank you for everything you ever did for me. The laughter that we had, the fun times we shared, the tears we cried together. I love you, and I will love you every day, forever.
And now some memories from Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark, and I have the profound honour of standing before you today to celebrate the life of my father, Ron Wilson. I want to express my deepest gratitude to you all, family, friends and loved ones, for gathering here to honour a truly remarkable man who touched each of our lives in so many ways. Ron Wilson, my father, lived a rich and vibrant life, reaching the age of 87 with a spirit that was as youthful as ever. Born in a small town, he carried with him a heart full of kindness, a remarkable artistic talent, and a sense of humour that could light up a room. From a young age, Dad was passionate about art, a passion that blossomed into a lifetime of creativity and expression. Whether it was through his paintings or his unique approach to life, Dad always found a way to bring beauty into the world. One of Dad's proudest achievements was his success in the art world, where his works were admired, not just for their appeal, but for the stories they told. But it wasn't just his art that defined him. Dad was also an accomplished runner. Incredibly, just a few years ago, he won a gold medal at the Masters Games, proving that age was never a barrier to his determination and zest for life. He continued to run regularly and cherished every moment spent swimming and snorkelling, embracing the wonders of nature with the same enthusiasm as he had as a young man. Reflecting on Dad's life, a particular adventure comes to mind that perfectly encapsulates his spirit. When I was about 12, we found ourselves on a trip to the local dump, a place most found mundane. As we drove through, we encountered a large puddle blocking our path. I remember telling Dad not to drive through it, but with his characteristic optimism and humour, he assured me, "Don't worry, it'll be okay." Of course, the car sunk up to the door handles, and we had to climb out through the windows and across the roof to jump to safety. It was a moment of pure adventure, a testament to Dad's belief that life was to be lived fully, without fear of getting a little muddy along the way. Dad's kindness was boundless. He had a way of making everyone feel seen and heard, and his laughter was infectious. His phone calls were a staple of my life, a comforting voice offering wisdom, humour, and love that I will miss dearly. He was not just my father, he was a friend and confidant, always ready with a listening ear and a kind word. As we gather here today, we remember and celebrate the legacy Dad leaves behind. His artwork, his athletic achievements, his laughter, and his love are imprinted on our hearts. While we will miss him dearly, we carry forward the lessons he taught us and the love he shared so freely. His memory will be cherished forever, living on in the stories that we tell and the values we uphold. In closing, let us reflect on the joy and light Ron Wilson brought into our lives. He taught us to embrace every moment, to laugh often, and to love with all of our hearts. May we find comfort in the memories we hold and gratitude for the time we shared, as Dad would have wanted. Let us celebrate his life, remembering that he's forever in our hearts. The following piece of literature is a poem chosen by Ron's family and is a way that put Ron's approach throughout his life into words, and it's titled Success. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you lived, that is to have succeeded. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to share a moment of reflection watching a slideshow of pictures and songs collected and cherished by the Wilson family, giving us the privilege of looking back over Ron's proud and forever cherished life.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure. 'Cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. Soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason, and a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter. Don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. And it makes me wonder.
Miss me but let me go. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that once we shared. Miss me but let me go. For this is a journey that we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all part of the master plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we know. Laugh at all the things we used to do. Miss me, but let me go. We promise to treasure the memories, the influence and joy that Ron brought, and to share those thoughts with those that remain. In doing this, we will find comfort for each other, and in time parts of hurt will pass, and you will keep his memory alive for the years to come. A loved son, husband, father, grandfather, and good friend has been lost to you all. And so today and in the days to come, I ask that all to feel free to be at one with your sorrow, sadness, grief, and memories. We must always remember that the love and friendship you had with Ron can never be altered by circumstances, time, or even by death. It is the past that will always remain sacred and secure to you all. We gather today to say our farewells to Ron, to say thank you for all that he gave us in life, the warmth of his love, his humour and friendship, his help, guidance and wisdom, and the joy that he brought wherever he went. Whilst we miss Ron terribly, we are thankful that he did not suffer and now have the peace you deserve after a life of commitment and love. We who sit here today are the ones that must make sure Ron's spirit is kept alive by replaying his songs, telling his stories, viewing his artwork, and forever speaking his name. And I'm sure we will do just that with honour and pride. Ladies and gentlemen, we've now come to the part of the service today where we must say goodbye to Ron. Can I please ask all those that are able, could you stand? Thank you. Ron, you are so dearly loved. You are in our hearts and our minds, and we'll carry you with us as we move forward with our lives. Everything you have done is still done. Everything you love is still loved. Everything we've learnt from you is still learnt. And so we will let you pass from this world for which you did so much, for which you continue to do. Because when we walk this earth, we walk it with you. You leave us with the strength and pride to do what is good and right. And your memory will guide us just as you did when you were by our side. For this we say thank you and goodbye. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. We commit you, Ron, into the eternal circle of life. We free you into the great art gallery above, free and at peace, watching over your family. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Betty, Deb and Matt, Mark and Annie and the extended Wilson family, I thank you. As we conclude today's service, I will now ask that the immediate family, you can all be seated. I will now ask that the immediate family to come forward to pay their respects, followed by the others that wish to do so. And after today's service, you're all kindly invited by the Wilson family to remain here in the Mostyn Pool Lounge to share some light refreshments, giving time to reminisce of your memories and times spent with Ron throughout his celebrated life. Thank you.
must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
time you'll see the line that's drawn between good and bad. See the blind man shooting at the world, bullets flying, taking toll. If you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit by a flying lead. You'd better close your